Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Suburban Proletarian. You should see the Africa Twin coming up behind me here in all of its twinly goodness. Not going to be doing much moto vlogging because I forgot my action camera, but I took a little bit of a ride yesterday. 3 hours down here to Maryland. You can see the lovely bucolic setting that we're in, and the bike held up well. I'll go over a few of the things, the changes I made and whatnot as we get into it. So I don't know if this is going to turn into a video or not, but I figured I may as well document some of it. Okay, so here's my cousin on the KLR. Sounds good. Wow, that muffler, that new Delcovic is pretty loud. I don't know if you'll be able to appreciate that from here, but oh crap, I don't have the audio recorder running. We'll just have to go with the internal mic in the camera. Dismount. It's a very supportive seat, I can tell you that. What is that?
A little squeak to the brakes. I haven't looked at them yet.
Okay, so it's turned on. Where the hell's the clutch lever? Holy shit. Okay. So it needs to be in neutral, right?
It'll be in neutral by default, yeah.
Oh, it's in neutral by default.
Yeah, so then you just hold down start for a second. Oh, brake on.
Oh.
You could just use the hand brake, or the front brake lever. And you got the kickstand up, right?
Yes. The kickstand is up, yes.
Okay.
I don't want drive, I want S1, right?
Sure.
That is really weird. That is super weird, people. Okay. Let me take a test run. Man, this feels really weird. Okay. Here we go. downshift manually. Because even in sport mode, I started lugging it a little bit coming up that hill. I think I need to take another test run.
The thumb shifter here. This time you can use it. You don't have to shift it into manual if you don't want to. You can just override it by hitting thumb for downshift.
Okay.
And then this trigger right there for upshift.
Oh. Okay. I'm going to take another test run. Hopefully. Hopefully a successful test run. That little bit of blacktop of the driveway, this thing handles completely differently than the KLR. Absolutely differently. It really feels more like a sport bike than that thing, which definitely feels like a dual sport. Pretty cool. Now it's time to try some other things. The Africa Twin, never thought I'd ride one of these. So, big day. Alright, so we're going to take some decibel readings on this thing and see how it measures up to the Delcovic. Whoops. That's not the start button. That's, oh, this has hazard lights. Wow. In neutral. Backfire there, I like that. Alright. This is so weird. Here we go. That is still so weird. I am getting used to shifting a little bit manually. I had to downshift to get it going up this hill over here, but this thing is something else. So since we're out here screwing around on the outskirts of the bean field and taking some other decibel readings, I figured I would take the baffle out of the Delcovic. Hopefully we can get some better audio than I did in my last video. Ooh, it's a little warm in there. That's all there is to it. One screw and our baffle. And we're gonna let that cool down before I pick it up again, because it's hot. Filming?
Yep.
All right, so I showed you the Delcovic with the baffle out in the original video, but I didn't have the best sound recording equipment. Hopefully this will be a little bit better. Engine kill switch. All right, here we go. Not my smoothest stop ever. So hopefully that translated a little bit better into the audio. We'll see. All right, so it's been a little bit more than a week, and I still haven't gotten all of this video edited together. So I thought I would just go over quickly a few of the updates I made. I've talked about a couple of them in the past, and just let you know how they worked out on the trip. It was about a 650 mile trip, maybe. It was 2-3 hour days. But I learned a few things about the changes I've already made to the bike and some other things that are gonna have to be addressed before I try putting in any 6 hour days. One thing is the saddle. This saddle is great, much better than most dirt bike saddles. And make no mistake about it, the KLR650 is an overgrown dirt bike. That's a fantastic saddle for commuting. It's a fantastic saddle for taking a 1 or 2 hour trip. 3 hours gets a little bit long. So I'm planning on taking a trip up to Maine. That's about a 6 hour ride one way. Well, no, it's a 600 mile ride one way. It'll be about 10 hours. So definitely going to need to get a piece of sheepskin, or maybe dig out my old Airhawk to put on the seat. That saddle is great, but it's not a touring saddle by any means. Couple of other things. The windscreen risers from 3D Cycle Parts. I cannot emphasize enough how much of a difference those have made. I will be trying to do some moto vlogging shortly, and I'll splice together some footage of the bike running at highway speeds without these risers, and then with them. I can't tell you, I'm still not 100% sold on the very vertical look that the windshield has to it now. But man, the windscreen just does an incredibly better job with those risers in place. I had some ideas of maybe coming up with a CAD file and trying to run something a little bit different, maybe adjusting the design a little bit, running something different on the CNC router table. But honestly, I'm not sure I could improve on these. They work really, really well. This cheap Amazon phone mount I messed do with the knockoff ram arm and balls works just fine. I used this for, again, 6 hours of riding last weekend, and absolutely no problems with it. It holds the phone very securely. I'm just using a lightning cable with the stock USB port there. I'm not sure exactly what kind of amperage this puts out, but it kept my phone charged, and I was using GPS the whole way. I did assemble the second double take mirror onto the bike, adventure mirror, once I figured out that I needed to buy another one. Oh, and I discovered something. I talked a little bit about the reflective double take mirror sticker that came with the first double take mirror over there. I discovered where that's supposed to be. There's actually a cutout on the back of the mirror. Please do excuse all the bugs and stuff. Again, we've been doing some serious riding with the bike. The Tusk D-Flex handguards are now installed as well. I did manage to remount the end of the handlebars to accommodate the bar end insert. These went on without too much trouble. I did have to make a slight bend to the end of the bars to get them to line up properly with this clamp. And you'll probably have to do the same thing if you're going to try using these Tusk handguards with a Pro Taper bar like this, the high ATV bend bar. But I mean, that's not a big thing. I just clamped it up in the bench vise and carefully bent it to the right angle till it matched up perfectly, and repeated that over there, and it worked fine. And lastly, the one thing that did give me trouble on the ride down, this is that MGO shift lever that I talked about in my last video, I believe, which is, I think, the same as the Tusk extended shift lever. That worked fine with my normal work boots, but when I put on my brand new Forma Adventure motorcycle boots, the toe was too tall. And I thought I could tough it out all the way down to Maryland, 3 hours, but about an hour into the ride, I was giving myself a Charlie horse trying to crane my toe under the shift lever, so I had to stop on the roadside and move that up one spline, but then it worked fine, and I'm still using it. I haven't changed it back down. If I try to ride in really soft-toed shoes, my normal work boots, you can end up with some short shifting between first and second, but recently I've been wearing these steel toes, which have a fairly high toe, and it works pretty well. The Delcovic 14-inch oval muffler, still holding up well, still sounds great. I have been continuing to ride with the baffle in. It's just a little too raucous with the baffle out. And the last thing I want to talk about quickly is the stock tires. These are the stock Dunlops that come on the KLR. The bike's got just a little over 2,000 miles on it at this point, and these tires are just about shot. They will be bald in, well, at least in another 1,000 miles, they will be completely bald. And I know these are off-road tires, and I've mostly been riding on blacktop. But my last bike, the Yamaha TW200, had its stock tires, the so-called Death Wings, which everybody hates. And I got 8,000, and those are off-road tires, and I got 8,000 miles out of a set of Death Wings. So to get less than, I think I'll probably end up with less than 3,000 miles out of these Dunlops is really pretty pathetic. The weird thing is, the front tire is holding up very much better, but it's also getting fairly worn. So I would say in the next month or two at the most, probably be replacing these with something a little bit more road-oriented. I'll probably go with a 70-30. I may go with the Dunlop Trail Maxes. I'm not really sure yet. There's another one from Shinko, the 704 maybe? Something like that, which I may go with. That remains to be seen. But anyway, I just wanted to update you on a couple of things that I learned over the last week. Overall, still very, very pleased with the bike, but still very much a work in progress.